Welcome back to New Rockstars. It's the Boys Underground, boys only, except for the girl who's going to join us in hosting this show, and then the girls that act on the show, the boys, and the girls that are in my heart. You know who you are, and please respond to my letters. This is the Boys Underground, the show that dissects and reacts to Amazon's The Boys. Like we wish Homelander would dissect and appropriately react to his mommy issues, because right now he's just hurting people. We'll be breaking down every episode of Season 1 of The Boys here in this episode of Boys Underground. All the kills, all the thrills, and all the gills. We're looking at you, the Deep. He's got those sensitive gills. He does not... It looks like I'm rubbing my nipples right now, but he's got gills that people jam their hands into, and he says no. He doesn't like that. He doesn't respond to the word no appropriately in Season 1, but he has boundaries. So maybe, like Homelander, we can get him to healthily process all of his issues. With the second season of The Boys, set to release on September 4th. In this episode, we're going to remind you what happened in Season 1. We're going to share some Easter eggs and things you might have missed in Season 1. And we're going to talk about some of the lingering questions heading into Season 2. Hopefully, nobody will get laser-eyed by an infant. A lot of things can happen when you're holding an infant. They can puke on you. They can poop on you. They can pee on you. And you can recover from all of those things. But if an infant blasts you with laser sight, that's basically it for you. You will die. That's my knowledge. So who's joining me in the Boys Underground? Well, with me to share their thoughts on all things Vaught, our new Rockstars resident starlight, Erik Voss.
President Starlight. There's so many other members of the Seven that I'm probably more similar to.
I disagree.
Starlight.
Starlight is beautiful. Starlight is pure, and Starlight is a good friend, Erik. And what are you? Beautiful, pure, good friend. I always say that.
I think you need different definitions for all three of those things for them to work for me.
Okay. Well, fine. If you say so. And as promised before, it's not just boys in the underground. And who could it be joining me? She's high on Compound V. She's a very talented lady. Give it up for Marina Mastros.
Hi, y'all. I endorse drugs.
Yes. All right. Okay, so before we all get too far off the rails here, let's go back and recap what happened in Season 1. A lot has happened in the last year, so where did the boys leave off? Quick spoiler warning for those of you that have not yet watched the show that came out in July of 2019. Let's say you've been busy. Let's say you've been traveling the world, going into crowded bars, taking in music concerts, going to the movie theater every night. No, you haven't. You haven't. We've all been stuck inside. There's no excuse for why you haven't watched The Boys. And I'm not yelling at you because I'm angry. I'm yelling at you because I'm concerned. Click on your little Amazon. Watch the show. It's easy. It's fun. You might learn a thing or two. And you know what? Elizabeth Shue's in it, and she's easy on the eyes, okay? That's reason enough. All right, so where were we in Season 1? Well, first things first, we meet the Seven. This is the show's equivalent to the Justice League, but they're run more like a sports team by the shadowy corporation Vaught International. They're like the Dallas Cowboys of superheroes, right? Successful, sure, great stats, fun to watch, a lot of championships, but there's just a lot of drug use and crime underneath, and some murder. So, Vaught makes deals for their heroes to protect cities, and they also have ambitions to eventually supplant the military and replace the troops with soups. You see what I did there? That's fun.
Nice.
I'm bringing rhymes to you no matter what. They're willing to do anything to gain power, including having soups shoot down planes or blackmail politicians. And as I've always said on any show on New Rockstars Network, you have to blackmail first, then shoot down the plane. If you shoot down the plane and then attempt blackmail, you only accomplish one of those goals. That's all I'm going to say.
It's just murder. Yeah. It's just murder at that point.
It's charred mail. Your charred remains mail. That's dark. I hope no one's lost anyone in a plane crash that watches this. The Seven include the Wonder Woman-esque Maeve, Queen Maeve, the Flash proxy A-Train, Aquaman equivalent the Deep, and their leader, the Superman-adjacent Homelander. I know what you're thinking. Tommy, that's only 4, and they're called the Seven. We're going to get there, okay? We're going to tell you who rounds out the Seven. There's also Black Noir, right, Erik, who we haven't seen.
There's Translucent, who gets killed off in an early episode of the season, and then and our new member, which Tommy's going to talk about.
That's right. The Erik Voss boss of the Seven, our newest member, is actually who we're introduced to, and that is Starlight, who is like Jubilee if Jubilee had legit powers. Cue commenter, Jubilee's an Omega mutant! An Omega mutant, I tell you! I know, but she's only on screen in the movie for like 1 second. So, we quickly discover that the Seven are not as they seem from the outside. They're narcissistic, they're corrupt, and they all get their powers from covert experiments and a secret drug. Compound V. They're the New England Patriots. They're not the Cowboys. They're the Patriots. All of their success is derived from drug use. Yeah, no, Tom Brady grew hair when he was 43. That's what happens to men when they turn 40. They grow more hair. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah, really.
So, the main action of the series kicks off pretty intensely when A-Train accidentally murders the girlfriend of our other audience surrogate, Hughie. I mean, he runs right through her as Hughie's chiding her about Billy Joel, which broke my heart because I love Billy Joel, and Billy Joel would never be associated with that kind of violence. Anyway, Hughie teams up with vengeful former government agent Billy Butcher to get revenge. Billy reassembles his team of ragtag former agents, the Boys. That's where the title comes from, and they begin the nasty business of trying to undermine or kill all the Supes and Vaught itself. Along the way, Hughie and Starlight fall in love, and we see a Supe squish a man's head like a grape during sex. Depends on what your kink is. Either you like traditional love or you like grape squishing. I like both at the same time. Anyway, the Boys are joined by their own Supe, the X-23 like Kamiko. Homelander kills tons of people, including his lover and handler, Madeline Stillwell. R.I.P. Elizabeth Shue, you are a goddess. I've loved you since Karate
Actress
Kid.
still alive, just a character.
Oh, sorry, yes. Live in peace, Elizabeth Shue. R.I.P. Madeline Stillwell. And by the way, Elizabeth Shue, may you live another 40 years, 35 of which we spent together in my beautiful cottage in Lake Ontario. And in a final moment that rocked our socks, it's actually revealed that Homelander had a child with Billy's ex-wife, and that kid is super powered. That's dysfunctional. There's not enough boxes on the TV screen for that Brady Bunch right there, because half of the people are getting lasered. So I think that about covers it. Guys, did I miss anything?
Well, yeah, of course, there was a big Flight 37 crash
yes.
that Queen Maeve and Homelander didn't do anything to help prevent, or if you could argue, led to. It seems to be a real big thing with Homelander and plane crashes. He's way too okay with causing them. And it seems like that's something that's going to come back up. You know, it was too big an event. It obviously wasn't a one-time. It was probably the most horrific thing to see on screen for me that year.
Yes, absolutely. Homelander saw The Dark Knight Rises and thought, Bane crashed one plane. How do I go bigger? I crashed two planes with no survivors. So that's what he did. All right. So this would not be a new Rockstars video if we did not have sweet Erik V, Compound V. I would say, not Compound V, I would say Magnanimous V, Erik Voss, pointing out some Easter eggs for us, going on a little Easter egg hunt, things you might have missed, moments where Don Cheadle might have said boom, you know, maybe things like that. Erik, what do you got for us?
All right. Well, Tommy, Marina, I'm going to just break down 10 cool new visual details I spotted during my most recent rewatch. Some of these are harder to find than like the cameos and comic book references that are all over the place in the show. If you read the comics, you're like, oh yeah, that background sign, or oh yeah, Mother's Milk's mug. Yeah, that's from the show. But I'm going to try to just like talk about the stuff that's new to the comic readers themselves. Are like, whoa, that's freaking crazy. And let's start with this fly. A lot of you had seen this. There was this fly that kept buzzing around randomly and a bunch of shots. So in episode 4, it was when Butcher gives that hilarious Spice Girls pep talk in Penn Station. There's right when he says shark, there's a fly that buzzes around in frame, and then there's one that shows up again in episode 5 when Starlight's talking to the kids at that Bible Expo, and then in that same episode when Hughie's talking about God in that episode. And it seems it's got to be deliberate because, like, why would they use these takes? Well, the showrunner, Erik Kripke, was asked about it, and he claimed that the flies were just happy accidents, and they decided to leave it in to, like, show the character's moral corruption. I call bullshit, guys.
You think this is more Breaking Bad?
I think, yeah. And as we'll get to later in this list, there are some Breaking Bad parallels here. George Mastros is a writer on the show, on both shows. So, like, I think there's definitely a parallel. It's a big mystery. Comic readers are even kind of stumped by this one. There is a character named Swato who speaks in fly buzz noises. But in the comics, he's like a normal-sized human. Something that maybe the show, you know, since it's made a ton of changes to the comics, might be like changing Swato to be like an Ant-Man type shrinking soup who's like spying on the boys in this moment. I think it's going to be even, it's going to go even deeper than that. Maybe it was an accident, but they're going to keep bringing it back as like a cool, like Breaking Bad style, like expression of their moral decay, as it was in that great Rian Johnson directed episode of Breaking Bad. We'll see, but we'll talk more about it this episode. All right. Second big detail that I spotted. So when Butcher first recruits Hughie, he says the line,
"Were you?" She wasn't in the street. She was one step off the curb.
And that is almost exactly what Hughie said when he and his dad were watching A-Train's press conference when he was like explaining the incident.
She was a half step off the curb.
And that could imply there's a very good chance that Butcher had bugged Hughie's home and workplace before recruiting him, and he was now using his exact words as a way to be like, whoa, how does this guy know exactly how I feel? Now, it could be it's just like good writing, and he's that good at knowing exactly how to empathize with Hughie in that moment.
Yeah.
But in the context of the scene in that store, he was talking about the nanny cam teddy bear right there, which shows up later in the season. So it's probably Butcher is signaling to him like, hey, I've been keeping an eye on you.
I've been keeping an eye on you, Erik. I look around your apartment. Everything is bugged.
Baby Groot, you're burning later. Also in episode 1, Hughie sees a dog toy in Butcher's backseat. A lot of you guys caught this. He says that he doesn't have a dog, but in the comics, Butcher does have a bulldog named Terror, and he shows up actually in one of Butcher's flashbacks later on in episode 4, and we will be seeing more of Terror this upcoming season. So that was a fun little nod there. So one of my favorite details, in episode 3, Billy Butcher tells Mother's Milk that when they're in that pack-and-go rental truck to spy on A-Train and Popclaw's apartment, that the truck that they're in isn't conspicuous. And he says, I think a big black van with flowers on the side is conspicuous. This is just another truck on the street. And then later, in episode 8, outside the motel where the boys are hiding, the van that the SWAT officers hide in is, of course, a black van with flowers on the side.
I did notice that.
Yeah, that was a really fun callback. It's like, of course, the idiot SWAT teams, that's what they would use. And Butcher called it. So in episode 4, there's a really cool detail that I love from the actor here. When Homelander lands on the hijacked Flight 37 and he's like calling out to the people, his voice is a bit raspy at first, and then it adjusts to normal as he's catching his breath.
It's all safe. You're all gonna be fine. Come on now, you guys.
Anthony Starr actually does this pretty much every time Homelander lands after flying. It's his lungs and vocal cords adjusting from the abrupt shift in altitude. That's what you would do because like the air pressure is different. It would take your lungs, even if you're soup, moment to just adjust as you're talking. And he also does this in episode 3 at the race at the arena. You can see his voice is a bit raspy, and a couple moments later it adjusts.
Sorry, I'm late. You got room for one more? Let's hear it for my boy A-Train. All right.
And then the weirdest part is when he just like sucks up an entire balloon of helium and does like a really high voice. That part was weird.
That was crazy. A bit out of nowhere, some might say. Okay, now this is one of my favorite details that we spotted. In episode 4, when Butcher and Mother's Milk and Frenchie are in New York's Penn Station near the platforms, the A-line, the B-line, the C-line, when Kimiko jumps on the track and runs into A-Train, A-Train is running on the A-line where New York's A-Train runs. That was a fun little.
Yeah, that's cute. That's a cute.
Fun little
That's
set
cute.
placement. It's cute. It's a little cute little wink.
Yeah.
And then moving on to our list, this is a really, really fun detail. When Homelander is touring the house he grew up in episode 6, which of course is not his real house, it's just for the cameras, there's a moment where the camera frames him chuckling in front of one of the model planes that are scattered all over the house. That plane's nose is tilted downward. This is 2 episodes after he let the plane go down, and of course the guy loves letting planes go down. But just that little laugh, that little chuckle, just sells his lack of a soul. And if you keep an eye on Homelander of throughout the season, all kinds of like dark demonic imagery surrounds him in the background. Like in episode 2, when he's talking to Frenchie in the alley, behind him there's graffiti of an upside down cross with 666 on it. So it's just like signals that this guy is kind of an antichrist figure.
Yeah.
That's like my number one fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, everyone kind of knows it, but they're too afraid to say or stop him. All right. And then episode 8, Homelander kills all the terrorists in the warehouse for the troops. And then there's another example of this graffiti in Arabic on the side of the building right behind him. Right when he says, God bless America, that graffiti in Arabic translates to Homelander is racist, which is so great that they put that in there.
Relevant, guys. Relevant.
Yes.
Relevant. Now, this is a fun detail that connects the beginning of the season to the end of the season. When Queen Maeve in episode 8 is telling Starlight she's coming clean about the truth of her broken arm, and she says that the radius never healed straight. She really did break every bone in her right arm when she was trying to stop a bus from falling. When you go back to look at the opening montage in episode 1, you can see a more jaded older Maeve stopping the truck with her back, diffusing the impact, and it ends up being kind of less heroic, right? She smashes through the truck and she has to beat up all the guys inside it, like shielding it from onlookers, seeing her as a hero figure, because she learned when she was Starlight's age, when she does that, she's gonna hurt herself. So unfortunately, she has to be a more jaded, less camera-friendly hero by doing it this way. So it's some nice continuity there.
Yes.
And then I mentioned the Breaking Bad homages. So yeah, George Mastros is a writer on the show, and there's a bloody cleanup that opens episode 3 right after they blow up Translucent, which definitely parallels Jesse and Walt cleaning up that melted body in season 1 in the house. And of course, Giancarlo Esposito, Gustavo Fring from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, he plays Vaught head Mr. Edgar. And in episode 8, he says,
someone needs to run this shit show when I move to Belize.
And in Breaking Bad, with Saul Goodman, he says moving to Belize as a euphemism for croaking, for getting killed.
Yes.
Have you given any thought to sending him on a trip to Belize?
A lot of really cool parallels. Obviously, there's a lot more stuff. I was just trying to go for some of the more favorite Easter eggs,
That's
but
great.
I look forward to seeing more in season 2.
Yes, I like it. My basket is full of Easter eggs now, Erik.
Ooh, and Tommy, before we continue with the rest of the episode, we want to thank some people who helped us make it. This episode of The Boys Underground is brought to you by Helix Sleep. If you're anything like me, sleep has been a little tougher lately. It's not like I'm Homelander. I bet that psychopath sleeps like a baby, no matter how many people he's killed that day. Me, I'm tossing and turning all night like I missed one Easter egg, which happens pretty much every video I do. Helix Sleep makes personalized mattresses made right here in America and shipped straight to your door with free, no-contact delivery, free returns, and a 100-night sleep trial. To choose a mattress, Helix made a quiz that takes just 2 minutes to complete, and it matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. If you like a mattress that's really soft or firm, or if you sleep on your side or your back or your stomach, or if you sleep really hot or really cold, weirdly, with Helix, there's a specific mattress for each and every person's unique taste. I took the quiz, and I ended up getting matched with the Luxe Dusk Helix mattress. Because, I'm Goldilocks. I like something that's just in the middle, medium, and I toss and I turn all night because Goldilocks has eaten too much porridge, and that's going to keep you up with a full belly. Just go to helixsleep.com/underground, take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they will match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. Helix Sleep was awarded the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2019 by GQ and Wired Magazine. They have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. They even pick it up for you if you don't love it, but you're going to love it. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/underground. That's Helix, HELIX, sleep.com/underground for over $200 off.
Guys, now it's time for some questions that I have from last season that I feel have not been answered by the show. This show has answered a lot of questions very well. The show, The Boys, with a much higher budget, has failed to satisfy my curiosity, which some say is unhealthy. So let's hope our answers don't sound really dumb when season 2 comes out. And if they do, we'll just scrub this from the internet, like all of my sketch comedy prior to 2015, because every character is problematic. All right. So, my first question for you guys is, what exactly happened to Butcher's wife, Becca Butcher?
It was interesting, right? Because in the comics, it was completely different what happened to her. In the show, the fact that she's still alive and she had Homelander's kid is like a huge game changer. I guess the question is like, Butcher did say he raped her and she went missing, or he killed her. It's all the same to me. Like, in his mind, they're both equal evils.
Right.
So I think in Butcher's mind, it's all the same, or you could argue even worse that she has his kid. But as to what happened, like, I don't know if obviously Homelander, this was news to him. I mean, what do you think she was doing all that time, Marina? I'm still kind of scratching my head.
I mean, if it were me, and I would want to protect, well, the kid, right? Especially if he has superpowers, and I would train. I think this is what she's been doing this whole time, is training this little super soldier, right? And the whole time she raises him, she's like, look, your dad is a piece of shit, all right? And when you get older, you're going to have to murder him, right? And so you just prepare him from birth to, like, be this. Have you guys seen Hannah?
Yes.
It's kind of like that. Like, she just is off in the woods, except it's, like, the suburbs. And she's just, like, raising this superhero to, like, actually be a superhero and take out, his dad. And maybe she doesn't tell him that, like, he's his dad, but she's like, listen, there's this bad dude that you're going to have to fight one day, and this is the way that it is. If it were me, I would, like, be personally raising my own little, like, mini army, super army.
My God. She's like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Absolutely.
And the kid is like Luke.
Yeah.
And they're training him to fight Darth Vader.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, the connections. That's a little Easter egg from me. Okay, so question 2. Who is going to be more of a threat in season 2? Homelander or Stormfront?
I think it's interesting. Homelander, the fact that he has a kid now, he kind of has something to lose in a weird way. Whereas the fact that Stormfront has like a social media army that is watching live all these behind the scenes things, like that's a threat that I feel like Homelander doesn't know how to confront.
Right. Okay, so at the end of the season, he gets rid of his only vulnerability, which everybody thought was Stillwell. But then, he lasers her brain, which honestly she deserved. And then everybody kind of, or at least when I was watching it, I was like, okay, like now he has no vulnerabilities. But you're right. Now that he knows he has a son, I feel like he's going to be one of those bad characters who thinks that this is the thing that's going to change him. And now he can become like a family guy and a good person. And so this is the thing that he's wanted this whole time. And she can use that against him when we finally thought, like, okay, now he has nothing left to lose. But you're right, he actually does.
All right, yeah, maybe she'll start a campaign to cancel Homelander. Get all her followers on board. All right, so we've spoken of The Fly and the mystery around The Fly. You guys think The Fly's coming back in season 2?
It's going to come back, but only when Homelander is diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, powerful.
I mean, I hope it comes back. I hope it turns into something more than just an accident. Because, like, if not, like, Erik Kripke must realize what an opportunity he has on his hand. Like, this is something that, like, could be the first, like, organic, natural Easter egg fan theory that just becomes adopted into the canon of the show. Like, make it a true happy accident, not just a thematic one, but like make that Fly top build on the show. I want that Fly in the opening credits, and he's gonna get an executive producer credit.
I think The Fly will land on the eyeball of Queen Maeve just as Anthony Hopkins enters the scene and says, "That's enough, Maeve," and reveals that this has all been a tie-in to Westworld and that these superhero characters are all hosts in a superhero-like world on Westworld. I'm just kidding. Do not reply in the comments that that's crazy. I know it's crazy. Everything I say is crazy. I read at a 4th grade level. All right. Will the Seven turn on Starlight? And haven't they already turned on Starlight? Or in some ways, hasn't she turned on them? What's going to happen with Starlight in season 2?
I mean, they should, right? Like, if we're everybody else, maybe only Maeve is on her side.
Yeah,
I can see that.
We might see a thing where, like, the Seven is no longer... We might see, like, a dissolution of the Seven. Because it seems like there's too many conflict points on the inside. The fact that Deep has just gone crazy.
Right.
I mean, they already had absent members. We're going to see some conflicts with Black Noir. That's going to be an interesting thing. So you might see, kind of like how at the beginning of Game of Thrones there were certain alliances, but they were really just clearly temporary.
Yeah.
I think that's going to collapse, and you're going to see, like, a lot of splintering off. And you might see that same thing happen happen on the boys as well. Like I could imagine like Billy Butcher, the fact that like his wife is still alive, he could have like a temporary alliance with Homelander to bring down Stormfront, you know, in the interest of helping protect Becca.
Sure. All right, last question. What's going on with my guy Black Noir? I think he's a guy. Do we know if he's a guy? I have no idea.
So I'm kind of like foot and mouth right now because there's something very interesting that happens with Black Noir in the comics, and comic readers know what it is. Don't spoil it in the comments. But it's a very interesting plot development, and it's kind of hard to talk about the character even without even starting to go down this path. I just hope that like they keep us surprised further from the comics. I hope they don't do exactly what's in the comics, just because the show so far has done such a good job surprising even comic readers and you know, subverting the expectations in good ways.
I haven't read the comics, so to me, I think the surprise is that Black Noir takes his helmet off and he's actually just Batman.
But like but not a Batman that we recognize. Like we're supposed to recognize who this guy's face is, and like, oh, it's the Batman in the show.
No. He still has his mask on, and he's still in costume.
He has another cowl.
Yeah, he just reveals another mask.
Like Under Armour.
Yeah.
It's a bet. I like that. All right. Well, needless to say, it appears as though Black Noir is going to play a more a prominent role this season, and we're going to learn more about that character. Okay, so now we've come to the point in the show that we've talked enough about the living. We've talked enough about people we were surprised to learn are alive. Let's now talk about the people we can confirm are definitely dead. Marina, walk us through the kill count on season 1 of The Boys, please.
Absolutely. There's nothing I love more than murder, as everybody knows.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
So there was a whole lot of murder in the first season, which, you know, so I was on board. I was like, you know, eating popcorn, like, yeah, get him. Cheering, everybody around me was crying. It was great. And the whole first season, we counted all of it, every murder. So starting with the people who didn't kill anybody and going to the people who murdered the most people, at least not on screen, right? So we're talking about on-screen stuff. So starting off with 0 is the Deep, Starlight, Black Noir, Mother's Milk, and Frenchie. So all of those people have 0 kill count.
Unless you count the dolphin that the Deep accidentally kills. I mean, dolphins are almost as smart as people, or smarter than us, I like to think.
Me too, I think so. I think that counts. We'll give him 1.
We'll give him 1, and then Black Noir is about to kill a lot more, so we'll see more on-screen kills from him, bro.
Okay, and then 1 for Popclaw, which was... I screamed. I was like, that is so funny. She, like, killed him with her ass. Talk about WAP. Guys...
Yes.
It was so good. And also one for Maeve. She killed that hijacker on the plane.
That's right, yeah.
And then, you know, we can, like, argue as to whether, like, she counts as also killing all those people in the plane, but it was kind of already happening already. But this is just on screen, like, she definitely did it. So for 2, A-Train, we have A-Train. So A-Train killed Hughie's girlfriend, and he killed Popclaw, right? Which
haunts
him.
He's a real lady killer.
Oh boy. Great. And then also 2 for Hughie. So he blows up Transparent, which reminded me a lot of Blade, actually. With Wesley Snipes, when they stick all the little thingies in him and he's like, blah, and then just explodes. That was great. And he also just kills like a random, like, nameless baddie along the way as well. And Kimiko has 4, and so she kills the 3 goons that are keeping her captive, and then that one guy shoots himself so that she won't have a chance to, which I thought was hilarious. Surprisingly enough, Billy Butcher also only has 4, so he kills 3 goons with the laser baby, and
that's right.
Yeah, that was awesome. Very Incredibles. Very a la The Incredibles 2, when the baby gets laser vision.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they don't commit murder because it's a Disney show, but, you know. That raccoon almost got it. Almost got the laser eyes. And then he also kills Mesmer, so Haley Joel Osment, who did a great job. Haley Joel Osment was so good.
Yeah, he took him out hard. That was brutal.
I was so happy to see him, like, getting work and, like, doing, like, acting, and... I was just like, oh boy, get it. But then he died. We have 5 for Nakeeb, who is the soup terrorist. Yep, and so he takes out a bunch of army guys. And skipping from number 5, so a kill count of 5, we jump all the way to 143 for Homelander. Wow. Yep. So he throws one bad guy in the air. He kills 6 people on that private plane. He Indiana Joneses the guy.
That's right. Yeah.
Almost rips out his heart and does the like goo thing. And he kills 2 hijackers on the plane. He kills, of course, 123 people on the plane. And you know what? I think that's right. So I'm going to give all full credit to Homelander on that because Maeve tried to convince him.
Yeah, she wanted to. She wanted to even save like at least some of them. And he's like, no witnesses.
Yeah, so I'm going to give all those to him. Give them because it's something good to have, right? It's like,
yes.
He also kills 9 more goons, and then of course he kills Stillwell by lasering her through the eyeballs, which was very oddly satisfying to watch. Or is that just me because I'm a weirdo?
To me, I kind of felt like we've already seen you kill so many.
No, man, I was like, she has
dead.
this comment. She has a comment.
Oh, God. It's just like, how many people are you going to kill, man? It's just like desensitized almost.
I am going to add, at least for now, another count to Billy because he blows up a baby.
That's right. It wasn't clear. Yeah. Wasn't on screen, but I think you're right. I think it's implied that baby was in the next room.
The baby was in the room, and
you're talking. Oh, I know what you're saying. Yeah. I think I don't see how that baby survived. I don't know where it is. You're right.
It was literally in the corner of the room that they were in, and let me tell you. Can I just tell everybody watching that I watched this whole season and I was on board. I was like, yes, this is a good show. I'm about it. I love murder. Then this mother blew up a baby. And I was like, I'm out. I want this character to die. I don't give a about this character anymore. Like, Homelander needs to turn around and murder Billy Butcher for blowing up a baby. Like, he cannot. I'm going to watch season 2. I'm going to watch it. And over the course of this, you two, Tommy and Erik, are going to watch the Billy Butcher try to earn back my affection. Because as far as I'm concerned, he can walk off a cliff because he blew up a baby.
Tough to come back from that.
Yeah. How is he supposed
to? Politically, that'd be tough for him to run for office for sure. But not unprecedented. Not unheard of. If he's from Florida, he could probably be a congressman. No offense, Erik.
Boy, it's going to be hard to do, let me tell you. All right,
that will be our challenge for this upcoming season. Can Billy Butcher win back Marina's heart?
Well, we hope to find out, guys. That's our show. So great to chat with you, Erik and Marina. Tune in every week for our reactions to the latest The Boys episode, including next week, where we'll be covering the first 3 episodes that are all dropping at one time on September 4th. And remember, please follow me at Tommy Bechtold, follow Erik Voss at EA Voss, follow Marina at Marina Mastros, and follow New Rockstars on socials, and subscribe here on YouTube to get too much information about all of the stuff you care about. Let's hear it for the boys and the girls and everyone, the people. Thank you. Have a good night.